Hi, and welcome to my lecture on the associative property and the commutative property, a few properties that are very important in pre-algebra. So first is the associative property, and in this you will always see grouping symbols here, and if you notice here it's working for addition. And we have the grouping symbols around the 1 and the 2, and then it switches to, this is saying you would get the same result as if you put them around the 2 and the 3. And this should make sense. If you use the order of operations, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6. And that should be equal to 1 plus, now on this side you have to do the 2 plus 3 first, and that would be 5. And 1 plus 5 is also 6. So you get the same result. And the associative property works with addition, but and also multiplication. I could do 1 times 2 times 3, and I could do the 1 times 2 first, and that should be the same as 1 times 2 times 3, but doing the 2 times 3 first on the right hand side. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 3, hey, that is also 6. Interesting. And then and now on this side I have to do the 2 times 3, which is 6, and 6 times 1 is also 6. So it's working for addition and it works for multiplication. Now, why is this useful? Well, I may get something like this. I may get a problem like, I don't know, like 37 plus 7.5, and if I have that here, and then plus 2.5. Well, according to the associative property, if it's all addition here, then I can move these parentheses around the 7.5 and the 2.5, and that would make things a little bit easier. So that's the same as 37 plus 7.5 plus 2.5, but I could do that first. And so the associative property allows me to move those grouping symbols. So I would add these two together, and that would be what? 10, right? That would be 10. And 10 plus 37 is 47. Now, you would still get the same answer if you did the other one. It just wouldn't be quite as obvious, maybe. Maybe not. 37, what would that be? 42.5. So that's 42.5 plus, maybe it's not 42.5. Oh, well, not that obvious at all, huh? Oh no, that would be 47. So that would be 44. Sorry, 44. Whoops, 44.5 plus 2.5. Haha. And then we have 46, and that would be 47 altogether. So you would still get the same thing. It just obviously, hey, if I had a little bit, I biffed on that one. That reinforces the idea that that is an easier route. The other one is the commutative property. Now notice I didn't say commutative, it's commutative property. And in that property, you can use addition and multiplication. So maybe 1 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 1. And really, you can reverse the order of things because 1 plus 2 is 3, and 2 plus 1 is also 3. And it's saying that the order doesn't matter when you're adding. You'll still get the same result. Now, this works for multiplication. 6 times 7 is the same thing as 7 times 6. It's all 42. Now, why would this be useful? Well, what you could have is something like this. You could have a problem like 50 plus 48. Maybe plus negative 48 plus 150. And if I'm doing something like this, the commutative property says that I can switch the order of things. Now, I can switch the order of these two right here. Or actually, what would be better is if I switch the order of these two. That would make more sense. So I would have 50 plus 150 plus a negative 48. And in this, that would be 200. See, that's super simple. Plus a negative 48. And in the end, what would that be? 152? But the point being is I was able to make a leap here because I was able to switch the position of these two because of the commutative property. Now, don't confuse the two. This one, I was able to switch the order flat out, or switch the grouping symbol. I moved the grouping symbols. In this other one, there really are no grouping symbols. I know that there are parentheses here, but the parentheses really just separate the operation of addition from the sign of negative. It's not grouping an operation together. So I can use the commutative property to switch those up and make this easier to start the problem. Now finally, what if you had a problem like this and you got to mash things together? Well, you can use the commutative property and the associative property. Now, to set this up, let's use the commutative property, which allows you to switch the order in which you add. Okay, but this isn't all addition. This is subtraction, that's subtraction, and that's addition, and that's addition. But that's not going to work. So what we're going to do is a little trick here. We're going to do this. This is 1/9. And then instead of minus 15, I'm going to write it as plus a negative 15. Okay. And I am going to put that in parentheses here to separate that operation from the sign. Okay. This right here is the exact same thing as that. I'm just writing it as an addition problem so I can use the associative or the commutative property and the associative property because they only work for addition. So I'll continue here, plus 4, and then I'll use that same trick right here. Instead of minus 5/9, I'll call this plus a negative 5/9. And since I have this operation in the sign, I'm going to place this in parentheses and then plus 2. Now, the commutative property allows me to switch anything around. So I'm going to put this. I can switch these here. I could move that. I could basically move this anywhere I want along this addition. So I'm going to put it next to the other 9th right here. So this will be 1/9 plus negative 5/9. All right. Now, what happened was this moved over here, but this has to move back that way. What I have then is plus, and I have negative 15. And then what? It's plus 15. I'm going to knock these things out. I have that taken care of and that taken care of in this. I have the plus 4 and the plus 2. So I'll write this as plus 4 plus 2. Now that's the commutative property in place. Now I can call the associative property if I need to by saying, okay, I'll put these in brackets. The brackets work the same as parentheses. Usually you don't put parentheses next to parentheses. If you have parentheses, then you put brackets there, but they work the same way. So the associative property says, hey, you can put these grouping symbols anywhere you want as long as you're adding everything. And I'm gonna say I want to put these two things together here, and then I'll add this thing here like this, and that is the commutative property being used here, along with the associative property. And that's it. Thanks for watching.